You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. National Siblings Day. Do you have siblings? Do you have a story? Share the story. We always like stories. National Farm Animals Day.
It is what it is.
And having beaten anorexia, I think it's anorexia, not anorexia. It's Monday. National Cinnamon Crescent Day. Looks good. Little butter on there. We'll take it. Take a look and see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 50 points. S&P 500 down 26. NASDAQ down 120. Oil down 63 cents a barrel. And the 10-year Treasury, it's up 3.42 is the yield on that one. Move right along. Take gasoline price. Boy, gas price. I was gone for the weekend. I paid anywhere from $5.30 a gallon. I didn't do it along the highways. I just did it in the cities, $5.30 a gallon. I think the cheapest I paid was $4.80 a gallon. Not fun. But hey, you know something? Look at the bright side. If you were watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our social channels, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you know something? You're not just local here in Southern California, but hey, Gavin Newsom wants to take these policies nationwide. Think about that that would be something that would be scary.
Nothing like a little air superiority.
Yeah, think about who brought California. Josh, think if we brought California policies to Nevada. You may move back to California then. I don't know. Now, let's take a look at the gas prices around the horn here. Josh is over there in Nevada, $4.23 a gallon. Jody's at $4.39 a gallon. Brittany's at $3.44, and obviously our tremendous underwriter, Lori, she's at $3.27 a gallon there in Louisiana. California, we're at $4.88 a gallon. National average, $3.60 a gallon. Gotta love it. And I was like I say, I was gone a lot of the weekend, and I was out there drinking wine and doing a little market research. We're going to actually put together a guide on the road with Ron. Some wineries that we visited up in Paso Robles area. We did some nice restaurants up there and other items. So watch that guide coming out in the next hour. Hopefully we'll be able to get it out within a couple of weeks so that you can enjoy Central California, the wine country up there. You know, I do this as a public service. I'll go and test out these wineries. We put the good ones in. We leave the bad ones out. So we're going to come up with that. We'll have that up available shortly if you want to get a hold of that. Again, just RJ at RonSiegelRadio.com, RJ at RonSiegelRadio.com. We'll put you on the list and get you that as quickly as we come out with it. Watching the news when I got back, though, did you check out the faux outrage from Kamala Harris? You got to love it. So she goes to Tennessee to talk about her outrage of 3 of their people in the legislature there in Tennessee who were expelled for having, breaking the rules within the legislature. And she's outraged. She's yelling at everybody about how outrageous this is and how stifling people's opinions should not be allowed in a democracy. Do you think Donald Trump might be listening and using that for his January 6th defense? Just throw that out there. I know that you can think he'll use and I don't condone any of these rioting or breaking of rules, but I just find it fascinating that the vice president goes out there outraged that the people's voice is silenced, and she was watching and making comments about January 6th. I just throw that out there. What are your thoughts? Let me know. We've got comments here. StreamYard.com/Facebook. StreamYard.com/Facebook. If you are watching us on Facebook, you can comment there. We'll know what you have to say, and we'll respond right there. StreamYard.com/Facebook. What else is going on in the news? We'll check it out. Hey, make sure you also, if you're watching us on our YouTube channels, make sure you like and subscribe or thumbs up. Was it thumbs up, Josh? Is it like something like that? Thumbs up and subscribe. It'll help us a lot. Share our broadcast whenever you can. We appreciate that. Love doing this for you. We do it for educational purposes, and we try to get you out as much great information as we can. Speaking of information, let's see what else is going on in the world right now as we chat with you. I think we've got a stock on death watch. Looks like, hard to believe this, after all these years, Tupperware may be gone. Can you imagine that? Stock is down and may go bust. The company says they don't know if they're going to survive. That's a tough one. Some areas, tax day, 18th of April. Other areas, the end of October, depending upon where you're listening to us from. The end of October, the middle of October, I think it's October 15th. If your county was designated as a disaster area, they've changed your tax due date. So make sure you talk to your tax professionals or just get it done on time, on early. That way you save a lot. Big issue of saving there, one of the biggest items, and actually had it happen within my family. My son actually had his identity stolen because of tax time. Yeah, one of his jobs sent him his W-2 by mail. Somebody stole it out of the mail, filed his taxes for him. Yeah, they didn't file them accurately and put down that he had an refund coming. They changed his address or bank account and ended up stealing his identity from it. Goes to file his taxes, and they wouldn't accept the online filing. They said, "You've already filed your taxes." Yeah, well, he hadn't filed his taxes, and guess what? Caused a bit of a problem there. So just be aware, if you get your taxes done early, it might solve or save that headache for you. So just want to throw that out there. Make sure that you're watching that. Again, get your taxes done. We're going to have some tax tips for you. Got a lot of great information for you for the broadcast today. I was away out for the weekend, as I mentioned, so we're going to share some. Got a lot of catching up to do. So today we will chat a little bit. We've got several different items to go over with you. Homebuyer activity shows signs of warming up for spring. We're going to talk about that because on Wednesday we may have a little bit of a problem coming. We're going to talk about that as well. What's happening on Wednesday that can affect home loans? We also talked a little bit in the past. You hear about that California Dream program. Did you hear that one? We talked about that. Well, they ran out of money. If you remember, I mentioned that there was only about enough money for maybe 4,000 loans. Well, they did that. It was all gone in the first couple of weeks. But our friends at Geneva Financial have solutions for that. So got a lot to cover today. Homebuyer activity shows signs of warming up for spring. Trying to buy a home? Hang in there. How much should a 30-year-old have in an emergency fund? And we're going to talk about VA loans today. VA loan versus traditional mortgage. What's the difference? 3 things they've never taught you about the VA home loan and boot camp, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Let's see what the loans, this is from Friday's numbers, so let's take a look. Friday's numbers, 30-year conforming loan, locked at 6.257. That was up just a little bit. 30-year jumbo, locked at 6.375. That was down just a little bit. 30-year FHA, 6.251, up a little bit. 30-year USDA loan, 6.431. That was up a little bit. And the best loan on the market for those that earned it, that would be the 30-year VA loan, 5.96. That was up as well. But why? Now remember, those are all interest rates locks. I have to throw this caveat in there. That doesn't tell us what the APR was, doesn't tell us how many points were paid or received to get those rates. So just giving you a little bit of a heads up there. And we're going to talk more about that for sure because, well, let me first tell you the 10-year Treasury is up 2 basis points, 3.42. S&P 500 is down 22.49. Mortgage-backed securities are up just ever so slightly, not enough to really make a whole lot of difference. Why? Well, we've got a nervous market. That's why. So we don't have a lot of news today, but the market is probably nervous because we've got the Consumer Price Index for March coming out on Wednesday. Reports have been warning, and we've been talking about this one. Next month is when we're going to get good stuff. This month, probably not so good. While we know and believe inflation is coming down, the market report has an issue. The figure we're replacing from last year in the year-over-year calculation is very low at 0.3%. That means that if we get a figure above that, which is very possible, year-over-year inflation will not move lower, but rather move higher. At best, we expect little movement. We can see the media headlines now. Inflation moves back up. The Fed has to hike more to fight inflation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of this is just mechanics and how the year-over-year numbers are calculated. We do believe the next report, May 10th, we've been telling you this, will be a different story, and we'll really start showing meaningful progress lower. While we need to be prepared for a bond negative report, the Producer Price Index report will be released the day after on Thursday. PPI is not as important as it measures producer inflation, but can still have an impact, especially when you look at the extremely high figures we'll be replacing from last year, which will almost certainly show a huge drop in producer inflation year over year. Bottom line, Wednesday is going to be tough, but Thursday's PPI may help us claw back some of those losses. Zillow Home Value Index showed that home prices rose 0.9% in March. The recent monthly readings, the highest monthly reading since the peak in June, as more activity and record low listings are pressuring prices higher. Can I say that again? Record low new listings pressuring prices higher. Home prices are up 3% year over year and down a little over 3% from their peak. But things appear to have turned the corner. Zillow showed that home prices rose slightly in February and now once again in March. FHFA showed home values up 0.2% in January. Black Knight showed home values rose 0.2% in February. CoreLogic showed home values rose 0.8% in February. Things are picking up. And that's why I've shared with you over and over and over again. That's why we're not going to see a big crash in real estate values, because we're not having enough supply coming into the market. The demand is there. The supply is not. When demand is high and supply is low, prices are either steady or go up. It's just the way the market works. So we've got to get that into the market analysis and understanding. That's how the things go. So we're not going to see, in my opinion, any kind of a price crash. We will see some challenges this week. Like I said, we're going to see some challenges on Wednesday because of that the CPI report number. That's not going to be pleasant for the market. But PPI might help right after that. And then next month we'll be off to the races. And I think we're going to start seeing rates go down. They should, if the numbers are as we forecast, we should be in the mid fives by late summer is my forecast, my projection. But I'm going to share a couple of other things with you, and we're going to come out with this later. Okay, I don't know. Facebook user, thank you for sharing that. I did say it again, I think. And low inventory and decreasing rates will drive pricing up. You are correct. And like I say, we'll probably see some challenges this week on rates, but it'll be starting after that, we'll start seeing some good, meaningful lower reductions. I'm going to come out with a report tomorrow. I think hopefully we'll have this done tomorrow. I always throw more things at Josh. So the whole concept of what I'm going to share with you will have to do with strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. And I'm going to show you why a 6.75% interest rate today might be better than a 6% interest rate today. I'm going to show that. I'll demonstrate that numerically and with some exact numbers. Hopefully we'll get that one done for you by tomorrow. Just throw more work on the table. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial when you're ready for that next home loan. Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions. How much should a 30-year-old have in an emergency fund? Emergencies can happen at any time, which is why it's crucial to have a solid emergency fund in place. However, figuring out how much you should have saved up can be a daunting task, especially if you're in your 30s and have other financial obligations to consider. Here are 3 essential points to keep in mind when determining how much to save in an emergency fund as a 30-year-old. Number 1, consider your monthly expenses. First thing to consider when determining how much to save in an emergency fund is your monthly expenses. This includes everything from rent, mortgage payments, utility bills, groceries, and any other recurring expenses you have. Make a list of all your monthly expenses and add them up. Then multiply that amount by the number of months you want to have saved up in your emergency fund. Ideally, you should aim to have 6 to 12 months worth of expenses saved up. Remember, rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. Easy tool to help you deal with that and figure out where's your money going to. Again, rsrmoney.com. will help with that information for you. Number 2, evaluate your job security. Another factor to consider is your job security. If you have a stable job with steady income and good benefits, you may not need to save as much as someone who is self-employed or works on a contract basis. However, if your job is less stable, it's wise to aim for a larger emergency fund. Consider the current job market in your industry and assess the likelihood of being laid off or facing a reduction in hours. Number 3, account for major life changes. As you approach your 30s, there's a good chance that you'll experience major life changes that it could impact your finances. For example, you may get married, have children, buy a home, or start a business. These changes can be costly and may require you to dip into your emergency fund. It's important to plan ahead and save accordingly so you're not caught off guard. In conclusion, determining how much to save in an emergency fund as a 30-year-old requires careful consideration of your monthly expenses, job security, and potential major life changes. While it may seem overwhelming, having a solid emergency fund can provide peace of mind and protect you from financial stress in the event of an emergency. Start working on building your emergency fund today by getting a savings goal and creating a budget to help you reach it. More financial advice and resources, visit our website, ronsiegelradio.com, or start right there, rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has a lot of solutions for you. We've worked with them for a long time. Our friends over at Blue Water Credit, they're really, really good at this stuff. So go and check that out. creditsanitizer.com. The giveaways from that are rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. And we're going to also go and just throw for Credit Sanitizer's sake, rsrcredittips.com, rsrcredittips.com, all of those. Got a lot going on this morning, and I'm going in a million different directions, but I want to get that out there for you. When we come back, homebuyer activity shows signs of warming up for spring. VA loan versus traditional mortgage. What's the difference? Trying to buy a home? Hang in there. We'll talk about that. 3 things they never taught you about a VA home loan and boot camp. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily Home and Finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule your appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Great tool. Great. You know, when I talked about it in the last segment, if you missed it, sorry, but it's a great tool. It helps you with budgeting. It helps you watch where your money's going to. It helps you manage your asset accounts or oversee your asset accounts. It also has some credit monitoring and credit tips in there, as well as shopping for a new house. 97% of the properties in the U.S. that are available for sale are on there. And yes, of course, you can get the value of your current home, even if you don't own it. But the value of the home you live in, you can get that value right there as well. 3 different resources that are really, really good. It also gives you the value from Zillow, which may not be so good, but it's there just because I know you're going to look for it anyway. So that's why we present it. That would be the real-time real estate. Again, that's our fun stuff. Home buyer activity shows signs of warming up for spring. Spring season appears to be warming up in housing as more and more buyers enter the market. And after rising mortgage rates sidelined so many buyers last year, that's a good sign for sellers. Realtor.com has the latest. Quote, spring is officially here, and like green shoots emerging from the bleak winter, new data suggests that more buyers are back in the market, although more subdued compared to a year ago, unquote. We know buyer activity is trending up because of mortgage purchase application data. According to Investopedia, quote, a mortgage application is a document submitted to a lender when you apply for a mortgage to purchase real estate, unquote. That means the number of mortgage applications show how many buyers are applying for mortgages. Put another way, an increase in mortgage applications means an increase in buyer demand. And as Joel Kahn, VP and Deputy Chief Economist at the Mortgage Bankers Association, explains, application activity started ramping up as mortgage rates fell steadily in March. Quote, application activity increased as mortgage rates declined. Recent increases, along with data from other sources showing an uptick in home sales, is a welcome development, unquote. In fact, we can see how mortgage rates have a direct impact on application data over time. As rates rose dramatically last year, applications fell in response. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you are seeing a chart showing mortgage demand rising when interest rates fall. Does that surprise anybody? No. The recent uptick in mortgage applications, as well as the decline in mortgage rates, is good news for sellers because it means more buyers are actively looking for homes. What this means for you, buyers are coming this spring, which is typically the busiest time of the year in real estate. And as Realtor.com tells us, if you're a seller, you need to prepare. Quote, if homeowners are planning to sell in 2023, now is the time to get ready, unquote. That means working with a local real estate agent to maximize your home's appeal and get it listed at the ideal price for your area. Bottom line, the housing market is warming up for spring. If you're thinking about selling your house and taking advantage of this recent uptick in buyer activity, let's get together. Let's chat about it. Let's see how we can help you on that. Just throw that out there because we know that there's going to be a lot of there's pent up sales. That's a unique conversation. We don't talk about that a lot. Pent up sale. What would a pent up sale be? Well, it's those people that wanted to sell, but they've said, you know something, I'm not going to sell my house right now. Why would I? Because I've got a 3 or 4% mortgage rate, and I know the new rates are at 6.5 or 7. Not today, but that's where they were. Why would I want to go out and sell my house now if I don't absolutely have to? Remember the HAFS-2s? There's 6 of them. They're basically diplomas, diamonds, diapers, divorce, death, and default. Those are reasons that people really must sell. They've got there's a cause there, a catalyst for somebody selling. Well, if you just want to, I'd like to have another house. I'm not real thrilled where I am. I could stay here, but I'd like to have a new house. Well, those are the want tos. And there was no reason to want to when you had a 3% interest rate and rates were in the 7s. Now they've come down a bit. I shared that with you earlier that we were locking at 6.257 is where OBMMI said they locked at on Friday, 6.257. Remember, that was a shortened day as well. 6.257. So they're coming down. Now, if they're in the 5s, Do you think some of those 4s might say, okay, you can convince me to sell? Yeah, I think that'll happen because those folks they wanted a house, but they didn't need it. They'll come on the market. If you're ready, you might be able to take advantage of that as soon as it happens. That's a real-time real estate segment. Again, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Hey, let's do a Borrow Smart segment. We're here at a Borrow Smart segment today. And I don't know, creditsanitizer.com. How's that one? Creditsanitizer.com. Borrow Smart brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. And we're going to continue our workshop series on VA home loans. VA loan versus a traditional mortgage. What's the difference? Are you a veteran or an active duty military member planning to purchase a home? If so, you may have heard of VA loans, a type of mortgage specifically designed for service members. While traditional mortgages are more widely known, it's essential to understand the key differences between VA loans and traditional mortgages to make an informed decision. Number one, eligibility requirements. One of the significant differences between VA loans and traditional mortgages is the eligibility requirements. To be eligible for a VA loan, you must be an active duty military member or a veteran who has served for a minimum period, which varies depending on when and where you served. On the other hand, traditional mortgages do not have any military service requirements, but you must have a good credit score, stable income, and meet the lender's debt-to-income ratio requirements. Number two, down payment and mortgage insurance. Another difference between VA loans and traditional mortgages is the down payment and mortgage insurance requirements. VA loans offer a zero down payment option, which means you can finance up to 100% of the home's value without paying any more money up front. Additionally, VA loans do not require mortgage insurance, saving you money on your monthly mortgage payments. In contrast, traditional mortgages typically require a minimum down payment of 3 to 5% of the home's purchase price and may require private mortgage insurance if your down payment is less than 20% of the home's value. Number three, closing costs and interest rates. Closing costs and interest rates are also different for VA loans and traditional mortgages. VA loan limits the closing costs that lenders can charge, which can help you save thousands of dollars. Additionally, VA loans usually have lower interest rates compared to traditional mortgages, which can help you save money over the life of your loan. If you're a veteran or an active duty military member considering purchasing a home, it's essential to explore your options and understand the differences between VA loans and traditional mortgages. Give us a call and get pre-approved for a loan that fits your needs and budget. rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. That'll help you get that budget going properly. rsrmoney.com. Again, helps you with the budgeting, monitoring your credit, and shopping. 97% of the homes on the market are listed there. So as a veteran, if you've got a place where you're at now, or if you know that you've got a change of station coming up, well, you might want to take a look at that. That'll be a great tool for you. rsrmoney.com. And you might also want to grab a copy of our home buyer's guide, rsrhbg.com, rsrhbg.com. That's there just to help you with the buyer's guide. And we might even want to talk about buy downs because sometimes that can be beneficial too. rsrbuydown.com, rsrbuydown.com. Lots of tools for you, but the biggest tool that I want to give you is a telephone. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Give a call to our team and just let's have a chat about it. What are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? Where are you at in your journey? rsrmoney.com, and then call our team, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That's a Borrow Smart segment. Another workshop on VA home loans. This one, VA home loans. And the title of this workshop, so we have it for you, VA loan versus traditional mortgage. What is the difference? You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, Trying to buy a home? Hang in there. And 3 things they never taught you about the VA Home Loan and Boot Camp. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. At 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit RSRmoney.com, RSRmoney.com. Yeah, we plug that a lot because it's such a great tool, RSRmoney.com. If you are not there, you're missing it. RSRmoney.com. It's giving you all kinds of information about your house, about the market for houses, your credit, your budget, your finances, your assets. They're all right there. RSRmoney.com. Trying to buy a home. Hang in there. We're still in a seller's market. If you're looking to buy a home, that means you're likely facing some unique challenges, like difficulty finding a home and volatile mortgage rates. But keep in mind, there are some benefits to being a buyer in today's market that give you good reason to stick with your search. Here are a few of them. Long-term benefits outweigh short-term challenges. Owning a home grows your net worth, and since building that wealth takes time, it makes sense to start as soon as you can. If you wait to buy and keep renting, you'll miss out on those monthly housing payments going towards your home equity. Freddie Mac puts it this way: home ownership not only builds a sense of pride and accomplishment, but it's also an important step toward achieving long-term financial stability, unquote. The key there is long-term, because the financial benefits home ownership provides, like home value appreciation and equity, grow over time. Those benefits are worth the short-term challenges today's seller's market presents. Mortgage rates are constantly changing. Mortgage rates have been hovering around 6.5% over the last several months. However, as Sam Cotter, chief economist at Freddie Mac, notes, they've been coming down some recently. Economic uncertainty continues to bring mortgage rates down. Over the last several weeks, declining rates have brought borrowers back to the market. Lower mortgage rates improve your purchasing power when you buy, and that can help make home ownership more affordable. Hannah Jones, economic data analyst at Realtor.com, explains, quote, as we move into the spring buying season, mortgage rates have ticked lower, a welcome sign of progress towards affordability, unquote. The recent drop in mortgage rates is good news if you couldn't afford to buy a home when they peaked. Home prices will increase, according to a home price expectation survey, which polls over 100 real estate experts. Home values will go up steadily over the next few years after a slight decline this year. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a chart of the estimated home price performance December to December as forecasted in the fourth quarter of 2022. So 2023 home price expectation survey is saying down 1.61%. 2024 up 1.9. 2025, 3.57 up. 2026, 4.25 up. 2027, 4.44 up. Remember, those are national numbers. Those do not tell us anything about what's going on in your zip code. If you want zip code specific data, you can go to a couple of different places. rsrlistana.com. rsrlistana.com. Put your information in there. It'll ask you for it. Might give you a report, but you can always change it to your zip code, your specific zip code anywhere in the United States. And it's got some great data for you. Rising home prices in the coming years means two things for you as a buyer. Waiting to buy a home could mean it'll become more expensive to do so. Buying now means the value of your home and your net worth will likely grow over time. Bottom line, if you've been trying to buy a home, hang in there. Mortgage rates have ticked down some recently. Home prices are forecast to increase in the coming years, and the long-term benefits of home ownership outweigh many of the short-term challenges. That is the real-time real estate segment, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals. Visit rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Well, what do you think? Should we do a little bit more on VA loans? I love VA loans. So we're going to talk more about the VA loan. I know I've got, there we go, 3 things they never taught you about the VA home loan in boot camp. That's what we're going to do. Segment is being brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it is wrong. Credit Sanitizer. So we've got a workshop. I guess I should title this properly so it gets into the recordings right. Workshop for you. 3 things they never taught you about the VA home loan and boot camp. Serving the military comes with its benefits, and one of them is access to VA home loans. However, many veterans may not be aware of some crucial details about these loans that were not covered in their boot camp training. In this video, we'll discuss 3 important things that you need to know about VA home loans. Number 1, you can use your VA home loan benefit more than once. One of the most common misconceptions about VA home loans is that they can only be used once. However, this is not true. Veterans can use their VA home loan benefit multiple times throughout their lives. The amount that a veteran can borrow, however, is dependent on their remaining entitlement. To find out how much entitlement you have left, you can check your certificate of eligibility, which can be obtained through the Department of Veterans Affairs. Remaining entitlement is the amount that the VA will guarantee to repay the lender in case you default on the loan. It's essential to note that if you have an existing VA loan, your remaining entitlement may be reduced by the amount of your current loan. Maybe. This means that you may not be able to borrow the full loan amount that you qualify for, but we'll be talking about that. Give us a call again, because there's the VA loan limits. Basically, you can borrow as much as your lender will allow and your income will support. Number 2, there are funding fees. Although VA home loans do not require a down payment, there are funding fees associated with them. The funding fees vary depending on your military service, down payment, and whether or not you've used your VA home loan benefit before. The funding fees are usually a percentage of the loan amount and can range from 0.5% to 3.6%. Purpose of the funding fee is to help offset the cost of administering VA loans. However, it's important to factor in these fees when determining your overall budget for a home purchase. You can choose to pay the funding fees up front or add them to the loan amount so it doesn't come out of your pocket. If you are a disabled veteran, you may be exempt from paying funding fees. You may not have to pay them. To qualify for this exemption, you need to have a service-connected disability rating of at least 10%. Your certificate of eligibility will tell you that. And again, we can take care of getting that for you. Our team can get that for you if you want. Number 3, VA appraisals are different. When you're applying for a VA home loan, the property you're interested in buying will need to undergo a VA appraisal. The VA appraisal process is different from a typical appraisal and is more detailed. The VA appraiser will evaluate the property and recommend any repairs that need to be completed before the loan can be approved. It's important to keep in mind that the VA appraiser is not a substitute for a home inspection. A home inspection is a more thorough evaluation of the property and can uncover issues that the VA appraisal may not detect. Additionally, it's important to note that the VA appraiser is not responsible for verifying the property's compliance with local building codes. This means that you'll need to ensure that the property meets all local building codes and regulations before making the offer. As a veteran, you have access to a VA home loan benefit that can help you achieve the dream of home ownership. However, before making any decisions, it's crucial to educate yourself about the details of the loan. Give us a call and do your research to fully understand the benefits and limitations of the VA home loan. That's our workshop on VA loans. 3 things they never taught you about the VA home loan in boot camp. Love doing these workshops for you. Again, visit rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com to start your search. That's where you're going to get a lot of great information. You're going to be able to monitor your credit right there. You're going to be able to shop for properties there. You're going to work on your budget right there. A lot of tools they didn't tell you about in boot camp. So just go. I highly recommend them for a lot of different services. rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. And let's give away some more stuff. I like giving away things. So if you haven't done it, we've got a first-time workshop online that you can visit, rsrfthbworkshop.com, rsrfthbworkshop.com. Yes, first-time home buyer workshop, rsrfthbworkshop.com. We've also got a workshop that's coming up. Free gifts. I always have free gifts. So I don't know who's our Facebook user. StreamYard.com/Facebook. So the first-time home buyer, we've also got a workshop coming up. I think it's May 9th. We're going to be doing this in person and streaming. We'll do both. So May 9th is our first time or a home buyer workshop because it's either your first time or maybe you haven't bought in a long time. So watch for more details on that. Save the date, May 9th. We're going to be doing it at the East Anaheim Community Center. We'll have the registration page available for you soon. So rsrfthbworkshop.com. Got that. If you're thinking about buying that new house, here's the other thing. Go to rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. Pay your credit card bills the right way for FICO scoring purposes. You may be paying them in full each month and still paying them the wrong way for FICO scoring purposes. You may not be getting the benefit for the FICO scoring purposes. rsrccpayment.com. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.